Hello, 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 everybody. It's your girl, Ashley, the amateur expert, back live with you all, bringing you this podcast. Super excited to be back after our short hiatus. We've got some fire guests coming up and excited for you to see who we'll have this season. First up, we have Opal, who is a dear friend, and excited for you guys to learn and see how you can be inspired by her and her journey. She is in and with us. So without further ado, we are going to get started because we will respect our time and yours. So Opal, we are going to see about getting you added. Oop, I found it fast. Tuesday, we are in the building. Opal.
Hey.
Happy Talk Tuesday.
Hey, how are you?
I'm well.
I'm good. I'm doing awesome. I actually have today off, so it is a good day for me.
It is an amazing day for you. Yes, round of
Right?
applause for that.
Yes.
Opal, I want to jump right in because you are a multi-hyphenate and you have so much to share with us. And so, if you could please, on this lovely day off of yours, share with us who you are and what you do currently for work.
Yeah, and I love that you have dubbed me a multi-hyphenate. I just love that. So
Because you
I
are.
am a director of I'm a director of multicultural business strategy for a large financial company by day. And I'm also a spoken word artist, poet, and MC as well. And I do my best to be a leader in my community at the same
I love
time.
that. Did you see all the hyphens happen? Did you see it? Did you see it? Did you see it? Because I saw it. Um,
Right,
I
right.
I love that. Okay, so when you were a little girl, what did you want to be when you grew up, and what was like the motivating factor behind that?
Yeah, so first thing I wanted to be was a pediatrician, but it wasn't too long until I figured out that I didn't like germs. So I did not want to do that. Then I wanted to be a defense lawyer forever. And then for like 2 years, I think when I watched Boomerang when I was like 12 or 13, I wanted to be a marketing executive
My
because
gift.
it just looked
My
cool.
gift.
Uh,
Yes.
and then ever since, I would say high school, I took my first psychology class and I totally fell in love with psychology. I still love
Mm,
psychology. My degrees are in there and I wanted to be a psychologist. And still may. I still may do that in the future. I still hold that out. And yeah, those were just, I mean, like I said, there was some influence from TV and entertainment.
mhm.
But yeah, I wanted to be a whole bunch of things growing up.
Well, I mean, it seems like that carried on with you as an adult. Um,
Right? Right?
And I love that for you. Okay, so what did you think success was? If you had to give it a definition, or like if you envisioned it as a child, what was
Hmm.
success at that point?
Yeah, for me, it was totally like money, right? Like having like nice things, definitely doing something that I liked, that I thought was cool, right? I
Mhm.
wanted to be somebody who was like thinking and smart with my job, but also like made a lot of money and like pulled off from the office in like a nice car. That was like the tip top of like my aspirations back then. And I think that yeah, that's what I wanted. I grew up poor, pretty ghetto, and I was just like, yeah, I want to make some money. I want to do something. That was kind of my vision of success, I would say
Mhm.
back then. Of course, it's changed, but that was it back then.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. So along your journey, I'm sure you've encountered
Hmm.
things that have allowed your definition of success to change. So tell me, what is your definition not now, and why did it change? And then we'll go into your career journey.
Yeah, yeah. For me, freedom and joy,
Mhm.
right? Like, and there has to be some sort of impact. Like I want the world to be better, even if it's in a small sense, since I
Yeah.
was here, right? And that I did something with my life. So freedom is huge for me. I'm also a mom. I've got a 15-year-old daughter, and I want to be able to have time with her. I've got a lot of
Yeah.
beautiful friends that I want to spend time with. And I like to you know me, I like to work on myself. I spend my Friday nights at our webinars learning, right? And reading and stuff. So I need that freedom. And then like joy, like life is way too short to not like enjoy. Like every day you should wake up and it's like, all right, it might be some stuff you have to do that you don't want to, but you got to enjoy like the majority of it. For me, that's success now.
For sure. I love that. Okay, so tell me how you went from, wanting to be the defense attorney and then going into psychology or majoring in psychology to landing the role as a director, a multicultural something. Hold on. Wait for it.
Business strategy.
Business strategy.
It went all over, right? Like I have one of those paths, right? Like I have one of those paths that just like went in many like crazy turns. So of course I thought I was going to like graduate with a bachelor's in psychology and like have this great job that paid me like a whole bunch of money. But it didn't. So I ended up working in a call center because that was like the only place that paid more than like I was working at Walmart in the summers during college. So I went there and then found out that I was pretty good at like leading people. And I was also really good at like training. So at least some of the like training stuff pulled in like my psychology when it came to like adult learning and concepts. So I was a trainer for a long time at like some different organizations and like a leader of trainers within that. And then, like I said, I'm a mom. So after having my daughter though, like I was like, as much as like at work I was thriving and climbing, I was like, that has nothing, it pales in comparison to like being with my child, right? Sure. So then I was like looking for like, how can I spend more time with her, right? Because it would totally kill me, like dropping her off, like she would cry, I would get in the car, I would cry, and it's just like, you can't, right? And so many moms like that I've talked to, like they feel like the same way. So I was able to do like some teaching and consulting that really let me more time with her more time with her, even during the day. And then starting to like really look and like get kind of back into the workforce as she got older, maybe like first, second grade. I went back to school and got my master's, but I was in an assistant role at the company that I'm in. And I was at another one before then because I was like, I had no idea how much money you could make as an executive assistant. Like I had no idea. It was way in some of the jobs that I had with like big titles, right? And business cards, right? And at that point I was like, I want time with my kid. I want to be able to go on field trips, and I need like kids are expensive. No doubt they're expensive, right? And so that really filled that for me, and I was so kind of grateful to have that. And then as she kind of got older, and I was in a really good company, the one that I'm in now, I just kind of started to really kind of look around and say, hey, what do I want to do? What do I want to be? And when it comes to like the multicultural business strategy and some other companies, it's called like multicultural marketing. Like it really had that psychology piece of research. It had that creative piece of the marketing. And then really kind of, to me, that impact piece of really like being the voice and really paying attention to like consumers of color, especially women of color, and consumers who have are lower income, right? That folks just ignore, especially in the financial industry. So it kind of had all of those things. So as much as I've got huge dreams in art and music and writing that I will never let go, it's also really cool to like have a 9-to-5 that also fulfills like so much of me. So I'm super blessed and grateful to be kind of in this role and growing.
I love that. And so you said two things. One, I want to ask you, so for someone like myself, who may or may not have a clear definition of what your role is, right? So like if I am fresh out of high school and I'm looking at colleges and programs, like we get your math and sciences, your business and comms, right? But your role is not something that I may know is available to me, right? So how would you define it, and how did you find it? Those are my questions.
Yeah. So I would say like I'm always a person who's like always doing like something extra, like besides their role, right? So I was involved in ERGs at work, and one of the spots for ERGs was that like we were starting to kind of look at consumer lens, and so they said, hey, ERGs would be a great place to kind of tap into. and kind of get some other, you know, more diverse perspectives. The company I work for was in the Midwest, so not as much diversity as if we were like in New York or LA or something. And so tapping into ERGs was like a good business move. And I was one of the leaders of the ERGs. And like, even within like my assistant role, I started kind of raising my hand for stuff like I love this. I'd be glad to talk about this. Yep. And I think that that's like definitely one of the things that got me like interested in, like, I didn't know that this really existed either at all. Like I had no idea you could do something in my mind that's so cool. And so kind of fitting to my personality. But I was watching like a special on ABC for Martin Luther King Day of all things. And they had like Yolanda White. I still follow her. And she at that time was an executive at Coca-Cola. And like this was her job. And I was like, oh my God, I want that job. I could do that job. And so it was just kind of seeing it somewhere else. And then, you know, like I truly believe that if you see something, you can kind of like pull it in like to your world if you're preparing for it. And so like I would say less than a year after seeing that, I had a role within this department and just continue to grow and now leading that department.
I love that. And thank you. Thank you for explaining that. Because I think a lot of times it's what you have access to or what you are exposed to, right? And so this job is sort of could be specialized. Like I used to work in procurement. I didn't know that was even a thing, right? Like what is procurement? So thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. And procurement is buying stuff, cool stuff, fun stuff, sometimes not. But okay, Opal. So on top of your 9 to 5 and being an awesome mom, you also have a passion for the arts. And so I would love to talk for you to share with us how you found a space to be able to be a mom, do your 9 to 5, but also not let your inner artistic needs die. That sounds so dramatic.
Yeah, I love that though. But that's like, it is so dramatic though, right? Like if you like have a dream, like it is exactly like that. So I love that. Yeah, for me, it used to be, I would say, something that was always kind of like on the side or like separate from like my professional life or even like my academic life. And then in grad school, I had her, and she wanted us to do kind of like our, you know, semester end assignment in a group assignment, of course, presentation. And she's still one of my mentors to this day. Shout out to Dr. Judy Adrian. And she said that she was like, I want this to be, you know, of course, grad level presentation, but she's like, no PowerPoints. She's like, you all have to dazzle me in some way. Like you can't just come with straight out the box type stuff. And so we're like sitting in this group and I was like, well, does anyone have any like skills or anything special or what could we do? And then I was like, I do spoken word. Like I do that. I rap, and I never shared that before. And then we ended up doing like presentation, like in this 3-act play. And like, I just kind of like narrated it in spoken word, and it was like super dope. And she loved it. And that was like the first time I was like, oh, I can bring this like into other places in my life. And so like, I've actually been able to do it like in corporate America, which is crazy. So like, I do a lot of like spoken word, like kind of keynote type things or opening up conferences. We definitely use it. I do it for like our large intern classes that come in. I've been able to do it many different places in my city. And so it kind of like does make space in that 9 to 5, which still kind of is like, wow, like I never thought that would ever happen. And then, you know, just, I'm still like kind of just using like everything in life to like continue to like push my like creative efforts, and the people I meet are like, no one's like one dimensional, right? Like I continue to meet leaders and amazing folks who are also doing all this other really, really cool stuff once you get to know them. So yeah, that's how I've been able to make space and kind of keep it. And I'm always like dragging my daughter to these places that I have to go speak. But you know, she likes it. And because of that, like she has like she's been a little shy in her life, but she has like no fear public speaking. So like she gets up in class and her teacher's always like, wow, she's so quiet. I had no idea she'd do that, but she just like seen it her whole life. So I guess I fit her in with that too. And she's super creative, plays a lot of instruments, and is awesome as well.
That's so dope. Yeah, we get to gain skills based off the things that we see. So that's amazing that you're exposing her to that so young. My mom said you're a great role model. Absolutely. Okay,
that's
so
awesome. Thank you.
so tell me this: what that you process of learning that you wish you would have learned sooner?
Yeah, I would say that like you can't do it alone. I think I thought for a long time in life, like you could just like work really hard and just be resilient and take advantage of opportunities and have courage, and then you would get whatever you needed. And what I've learned kind of later in life is that like absolutely not. Like you need all that, but it's also it's so much, you know, it's cliche, but it's so much who you know, not just what you know. And folks really need to be saying your name in spaces that you're not. And I've seen that kind of over and over again. So yeah, you can't do it alone. I have so many people that just lift me up and continue to show me love. And it's like, I do not know why. So I just kind of cling to like favor ain't fair. And like, I'm so blessed in that way. But yeah, you cannot at all do it alone. Definitely the thing that I've learned.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I think that the quicker that we do learn that, the further we'll go. And then also, if you
Yes,
have that same spirit, right, you're also bringing up those people behind you or keeping people
for sure.
alongside you, which is a great spirit to have. And favor ain't fair. I'm learning
Yes.
that, and so God is goat for real.
Yes. I've definitely seen that in your life too. For sure. For sure. Yes.
Amen, amen. Okay, so the next question I have for you, Opal, is what are some of the tips and motivators that you use? So I'm sure, time management and, your spirituality, I know plays a big part in it
Mm-hmm.
as well. But just if you can share with us some of the tips and motivators that you've used to get you here.
Yeah, definitely my faith and spirituality for sure. Like I don't do anything without God. I wouldn't even try. He blesses me in every single way. And I would just say I'm always like trying to learn from different people. Like I think people are just so amazing, and especially like Black women are just amazing. So when I see someone, like I said, I saw Yolanda White, I was like, oh my gosh, she's so dope. Like how is she doing that? I saw
Mhm.
Minda Harts in here. She's another one of those people that I'm just like, she is so dope. So I just like will
So dope.
study and like watch
Mhm.
the journey and try to understand. As you know, Felicia is one of my biggest heroes. Like she is in my signature at work. I'm like, I speak the truth even if my voice shakes because that's so me. So definitely just trying to continue like to learn. Like I don't know, I can't not be inspired. Like even if I were to try to like, if I had an attitude or a bad day, like there's going to be something that comes up
Mhm.
that just inspires me and just makes me
Yeah.
want to do more, to learn, and to kind of be more. So I keep a lot of pop up around me too. Like you said, I've got stuff on the wall
Yeah.
at work, same way, in my workspace, same way, like on purpose to make sure that I continue to keep the things in front of me that are positive and uplifting and that just remind me like who I am and what could be.
I love that. And so, my mom actually just said to me earlier today that uh, favor and fair. We were talking about that, and so
Nice.
I love how that just came back up. And so, we're talking about things that we wish, or you share, something you wish that you had learned sooner. You also shared, uh, your tips and motivators. I wonder what advice would you give, to your daughter? Like, what's the biggest thing you want her to know where she is right now at this age?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really that like not to put limits on herself. So she's 15, and those are like truly those formative years. Like they say that that's when you kind of create your personality. The music you like is the music you're going to like, and it can be such a springboard for great things in your life. So I'm always telling her like, don't think like small at all. Don't just think about like what you've seen. Like in 15 years, when like she's 30, the world is gonna be totally different and super opened up for her. And so, yeah, just not to limit herself. I try to tell her, like I said, we're in the Midwest, and like, don't limit yourself by our city or whatever you see around you. Like, if you are thinking of something that's amazing, like you can, totally do that, and to do it your way, I think is the most
Mhm.
important. When I look at Gen Z, I'm so inspired at how they do their things their way. Like, I feel like I've had to like, contort myself in all these ways to be able to be what I wanted to be. And I think Gen Z is just like, nah, let me do it and have fun and not be stressed and
Yep,
do it better. And they're not afraid to do that. So I just try to tell her to kind of like hold on to that kind of magic that they have.
I love that. And my mom said, feel the fear and do it anyways. Uh,
Yes, I love
co-host. Okay, so Opal, we are coming to the end of the questions that I have for you. I want to give you this opportunity to share with us ways that we can support you. So, where are we following you? Where are your projects? What's the what? How can we support you, Opal?
Yeah. So I'm definitely on Instagram. Everything that I'm on is just at OPALELLYSE. I have a website too. Same thing, opalellyse.com. I'm active on Twitter as well, YouTube, even Facebook. So I'm all on those different things. I have a spoken word album called My Name is Opal that's on all platforms. So Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, iTunes if you want to download the album. And then I just dropped a single as well, music single produced by DJ Payne One. That's called Anti-Anxiety Slow Down. And it's like, for me, it's like one of the things is like the most me. Like that vibe is like totally me. So I'm super happy to, like I said, still chasing my dreams, still doing what I love. So yeah,
For
you can
sure.
support me in any way. Yeah, just listen to something is the best thing you can do for me.
So, and we will definitely add links to the show notes, y'all.
Thank
This
you.
has been truly amazing. I've been inspired and am always inspired by you because I see you in so many different pockets, right? So I see you in the masterclass, and then I see you doing the music, and I see you with your commentary on Twitter, and it's just always just so good to see. And I'm so inspired by you. And so thank you for being on the show today. As you know, the last question is, I am the amateur expert and I know a little bit about a lot. And so, Opal, if you could please share with me a random fact, a random tidbit of information, Snapple fact, something, anything. Teach me something else, Opal.
Yes, I love that. I love that. One random thing, because I'm a person who loves random facts, is that I took a class called The Literature of the Bible, who was led by this professor who was like amazing, and he like even helped interpret like the Dead Sea Scrolls. So he knew like his Hebrew, he knew everything, and he told us that Tarantino, who's like one of my favorite directors, who's directed like Django and Pulp Fiction, that he actually models how he makes movies after the canons in the Bible. So like the Bible is like not for the first time reader, as you know, like you keep going through, you keep seeing more, you keep seeing the connections. So like
Yeah.
that's like his like inspiration to how he makes movies. So like when you watch like a classic like Pulp Fiction and then you watch, you're like, oh, I didn't see this thread. So he's like copying the Bible, and I just thought that was the dopest thing, because I'm like, the Bible, Quentin Tarantino, like totally different. I love them both. So that's like my
That
random
is dope.
fact.
That is dope. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Opal, always a pleasure. I will see you Friday night, likely,
Yes. Yes.
in class. Y'all be sure to support Opal. All of her links will be in the show notes. If you're just tuning in, you missed an awesome show, but you can watch the replay, YouTube, Anchor, Spotify, Apple, all of the places. You guys, I hope you have a great day. Join us for daily affirmations at Affirmed Armor. We are doing those for the rest of the week and hopefully for the rest of the month, but we're going to commit to at least a week at first. So you guys have a great day. Opal, let's be still for a little bit and do our cheesy thing so that we have a cute
Awesome.
still. Ready? Perfect. Okay, you guys have a great day. Be good to yourself and be good to others, and we will see you soon.
So thank you so much, Ashley.
Later.